Urgent message from God. You were not meant to miss this today. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if these words stopped you right now, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. Take a breath and stay here for a moment, because nothing about this timing is accidental, nothing about this pause in your scrolling is random, and nothing about the heaviness or curiosity you're feeling is a coincidence. Listen to this. God says you were not meant to miss this today because something has been shifting around you quietly, even when it felt like nothing was happening at all. You've been moving through days where your emotions feel deeper than usual, where memories resurface without warning, where you question your direction late at night, and where your soul feels like it's asking for something more meaningful. Don't scroll. This message is for you because you've been stronger than people realize, holding yourself together while waiting for clarity, answers, or relief that hasn't arrived yet. Listen to this. God sees the moments you didn't speak about, the prayers you whispered instead of shouted, the times you chose peace when you could have reacted, and the growth you went through in silence. Your heart needs this right now because what felt like delay was never denial, it was preparation. You were being protected from rushing into something that would have drained you instead of fulfilling you. Don't scroll. You've been seeing the signs, even if you tried to ignore them. Angel numbers appearing at strange moments, 1111 when you were thinking about your future, 222 when you questioned if things would ever align, 333 when emotions bubbled up for no clear reason, 444 when you felt tired but somehow still held together. These are not accidents. These are reminders from the universe that you are guided, watched over, and supported even when you feel unsure. Listen to this. God says your spiritual awakening is happening quietly, not with chaos, but with awareness. You're noticing what no longer feels right. You're pulling away from what drains you. You're craving honesty, depth, and peace more than excitement or noise. That's not you becoming distant, that's you becoming aligned. Don't scroll. This message is for you because your heart needs reassurance that you're not losing your way, you're finding it. Listen to this. There is a soulmate connection tied to this season of your life, and it's not the kind of love that comes with confusion or emotional games. This is the kind of connection that recognizes your growth, respects your boundaries, and meets you where you are now, not who you used to be. Whether this person is already in your life or preparing to enter it, God says the alignment is happening behind the scenes. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because you've been wondering if love would ever feel safe again. Listen to this. Safe love doesn't rush you. It doesn't make you anxious. It doesn't disappear when things get real. And that's why the universe slowed things down for you, to heal what needed healing so you wouldn't sabotage what's meant to stay. Don't scroll. There is also something God wants you to release today, the belief that you are behind, that you missed your chance, or that everyone else is moving forward while you're stuck. Listen to this. You are exactly where you need to be for what's coming next. The timing you questioned is the timing that will make sense later. Your heart needs this right now because comparison has been quietly stealing your peace. Don't scroll. God says what's meant for you will not require you to beg, chase, or abandon yourself. It will arrive with clarity, not confusion, with consistency, not mixed signals, and with peace, not anxiety. Listen to this. Soon, something will click, a realization, a message, a moment that makes everything you've been feeling suddenly make sense. It won't be loud. It will be calm. And you'll feel it in your body before your mind understands it. Don't scroll. This message is for you because your intuition has been sharpening, your discernment has been growing, and your soul has been learning to trust itself again. Listen to this. God says you were not meant to miss this today because encouragement was needed before the next step reveals itself. You don't need all the answers right now. You just need to stay present, stay open, and keep trusting the process. Your heart needs this right now because you're closer than you think, stronger than you realize, and more protected than you know. Don't scroll. Stay here. This is only part 1, and what's unfolding next will confirm why this message found you today. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if you stayed after part 1, this message is even more for you, and your heart needs this right now. Something is deepening, not rushing, not exploding, but settling into place in a way that your spirit understands even if your mind is still catching up. Listen to this. God says the reason this message continues is because what you're walking into next requires reassurance, grounding, and trust, not fear or impatience. You've been standing at a quiet threshold, feeling like something is about to change but not knowing exactly how or when, and that uncertainty has tested you. Don't scroll. This message is for you because you didn't give up during the waiting, even when you were tired of being strong. Listen to this. God knows there were moments you almost convinced yourself to stop believing, to lower your expectations, to shut your heart down just enough so disappointment wouldn't hurt as much. But you didn't fully close it. And that matters. Your heart needs this right now because what stayed open is what's about to receive. Don't scroll. The universe has been watching how you respond when things don't move on your timeline. It's been shaping your patience into wisdom and your hope into discernment. That's why you're not the same person you were months ago. You don't chase validation the same way. You don't ignore red flags for the sake of connection. You don't confuse intensity with destiny anymore. Listen to this. That's growth. That's awakening. And God says this version of you is ready for what's coming next. Don't scroll. You may have noticed that certain people, habits, or patterns have been falling away naturally. Not with drama, not with confrontation, but with a quiet sense of, this no longer fits. That's not loss, that's alignment. Your heart needs this right now because you've been grieving things you thought you needed, when in reality they were only meant to prepare you. Listen to this. God says you were protected from settling, protected from repeating cycles, protected from mistaking familiarity for fate. Don't scroll. The signs around you are increasing in subtle ways, songs that speak directly to your situation, thoughts that feel guided instead of anxious, numbers that keep repeating when you're questioning your direction. Angel numbers haven't stopped, they've shifted in meaning. 1111 no longer feels like longing, it feels like confirmation. 22 feels like balance instead of waiting. 444 feels like support when you're exhausted but still standing. Listen to this. These signs aren't telling you to rush, they're telling you to trust. Your heart needs this right now because doubt has been louder than guidance lately. Don't scroll. God also wants you to hear this clearly. You are not too much, you are not asking for too much, and you are not wrong for wanting depth, consistency, and honesty. The world may have taught you to minimize yourself to be chosen, but heaven never asked that of you. Listen to this. What's meant for you will rise to meet you, not ask you to shrink. Don't scroll. This is especially important when it comes to love. There is a soulmate-level connection aligning with your healed self, not your wounded self. This is someone who won't be confused by your boundaries or intimidated by your self-respect. They won't need you to explain why peace matters to you now. They'll understand it because they've been doing their own inner work too. Your heart needs this right now because you've been wondering if you'd ever meet someone who speaks the same emotional language. Don't scroll. God says that connection is not late, it's precise. It's being timed so that when it arrives, it doesn't destabilize your life, it integrates into it. Listen to this. You won't feel anxious around what's aligned. You won't feel the urge to overthink every interaction. You won't feel like you need to prove your worth. Instead, you'll feel calm, seen, and steady, and that calm will feel unfamiliar at first, but it will be real. Don't scroll. There is also a message here about your purpose beyond relationships. God says you've been underestimating the impact of your growth, the way your healing ripples outward, the way your presence affects others even when you're not trying. Your sensitivity is not weakness, it's discernment. Your empathy is not burden. It's calling. Listen to this. You're being prepared to walk into spaces where your authenticity matters, where your voice carries weight, and where your story helps others feel less alone. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because you've been questioning your value during quiet seasons. Quiet does not mean unimportant. Seeds grow underground first. Listen to this. There will be a moment soon, subtle but undeniable, when something shifts externally to match what's already shifted internally. A conversation. An opportunity. A reconnection. A realization. It won't feel rushed. It will feel right. And when it happens, you'll understand why patience was required. Don't scroll. God says you don't need to force anything into existence. What's meant for you is already moving toward you, adjusting itself to fit the version of you that exists now, not the one that survived before. Your heart needs this right now because surrender feels scary when you've spent years relying only on yourself. Listen to this. Surrender doesn't mean giving up control, it means trusting guidance. Don't scroll. You've done enough alone. Heaven is involved now. And that's why this message continues, to remind you that you were never meant to miss this day, this moment, this alignment. Stay present. Stay open. This is only part 2, and what unfolds next will confirm everything your soul already feels but hasn't had words for yet. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if you are still here right now, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. This is where everything you've been feeling without words begins to settle into understanding, not all at once, but gently, the way truth arrives when it knows you're finally ready to hold it. Listen to this. God says this part matters because you are no longer in survival mode, even if you still feel tired sometimes. You are no longer just getting through days, you are becoming aware of why you went through what you did. And awareness changes everything. Don't scroll. You've been carrying a quiet strength lately, a kind that doesn't announce itself but shows up in how you no longer beg for clarity, how you no longer tolerate emotional confusion, how you choose peace even when part of you misses familiarity. That is not detachment. That is maturity. Your heart needs this right now because you've been wondering if becoming calmer meant becoming colder. Listen to this, it didn't. It meant you finally learned how to protect your heart without closing it. Don't scroll. God wants you to know that the moments you thought broke you actually refined you. The disappointment that forced you to sit with yourself. The silence that taught you discernment. The endings that made space you didn't understand at the time. None of it was wasted. Listen to this. You didn't lose those chapters, you graduated from them. And graduation always feels confusing before it feels freeing. Your heart needs this right now because you've been looking back wondering if you should have tried harder, waited longer, or held on tighter. God says no, holding on would have cost you what you're being prepared to receive now. Don't scroll. This message is for you because your spiritual awakening is no longer subtle. You're noticing how your body reacts before your mind does. How certain conversations drain you faster. How certain people feel misaligned even if nothing is wrong on the surface. That's intuition becoming louder because you finally trust it. Listen to this. God says discernment is one of the greatest forms of protection, and you've been developing it without even realizing. Don't scroll. You've also been seeing signs that feel personal, not flashy, not dramatic, but specific. Angel numbers appearing at moments of emotional honesty. Songs playing at the exact second you needed reassurance. Random thoughts that turn into confirmations minutes later. These are not coincidences. These are reminders that you are not walking blindly. Your heart needs this right now because there were days you felt like you were navigating alone. Listen to this, you were guided even when you felt unsure. Don't scroll. God also wants to speak to the part of you that feels conflicted about wanting more. You've been told to be grateful for where you are, and you are. But gratitude does not cancel desire. Wanting deeper love, clearer purpose, and aligned connection does not make you ungrateful. It makes you honest. Listen to this. Heaven does not shame hunger for growth. It responds to it. Your heart needs this right now because you've been minimizing your dreams to avoid disappointment. Don't scroll. This is especially important when it comes to love. The soulmate connection aligning with you now is not drawn to your pain, it's drawn to your healing. This is not someone who needs saving or fixing. This is someone who recognizes your emotional language because they've learned their own. Listen to this. That's why it hasn't arrived in chaos. That's why it hasn't been dramatic. That's why timing mattered. God says when aligned love arrives, it doesn't knock you off balance, it steadies you. Don't scroll. You may feel moments of vulnerability rising now, moments where you question if you're truly ready to receive what you asked for. That's normal. Growth always challenges comfort. Listen to this. Being ready doesn't mean being fearless. It means trusting yourself enough to stay present even when emotion surfaces. Your heart needs this right now because you are stronger than the doubts trying to revisit you. Don't scroll. God also wants you to understand this, you are no longer meant to chase answers. Answers are meant to come to you. That's why things have slowed down. That's why silence doesn't scare you the way it used to. That's why patience feels different now, less like waiting, more like knowing. Listen to this. Knowing doesn't rush. Knowing rests. Don't scroll. There is a moment ahead, not far, not distant, where something external will reflect your inner growth. It might be a conversation that finally feels honest. An opportunity that feels aligned instead of stressful. A reconnection that feels grounded instead of confusing. When it happens, your body will recognize it before your mind celebrates it. That calm is your confirmation. Your heart needs this right now because you've been conditioned to expect love and purpose to come with anxiety. God is rewriting that expectation. Don't scroll. You were never meant to live in constant anticipation. You were meant to live in alignment. And alignment feels like peace that doesn't need explanation. Listen to this. There may still be days where old fears try to speak up, telling you not to trust, not to hope too much, not to open fully. When that happens, don't judge yourself. Fear is just a memory of who you used to be trying to protect you with outdated tools. Thank it, and move forward anyway. Your heart needs this right now because you are no longer that version of you. Don't scroll. God says the reason this message keeps unfolding in parts is because revelation comes in layers, not shocks. You are being guided gently because your nervous system has already done enough surviving. Now it's time to receive without bracing. Listen to this. You were not meant to miss this day, this message, or this moment in your life. You are being reminded before the next chapter reveals itself that you are supported, chosen, and aligned. Don't scroll. Stay here. This is not the end. This is the grounding before the next confirmation arrives. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if you are still here at part 4, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. This is the part where God doesn't rush you forward but steadies you where you are, because what's coming next in your life requires calm clarity, not emotional chaos. Listen to this. You've been sensing that you're standing in between who you used to be and who you're becoming, and that in-between space has felt uncomfortable, quiet, and sometimes lonely. Don't scroll. That space is sacred. God says it's the pause where alignment locks in, where old patterns fully release their grip, and where new doors don't just open, they open safely. Your heart needs this right now because you've been questioning whether you're doing enough, healing enough, waiting too long, or moving too slowly. Listen to this. You're not behind. You're right on time for the version of you that can finally receive without fear. Don't scroll. You didn't go through emotional exhaustion, disappointment, and silence just to end up back where you started. You went through it so you could stand here with discernment instead of desperation. God says you're no longer available for confusion dressed up as connection, or chaos disguised as passion. That's why certain things didn't work, even when you wanted them to. They couldn't follow you where you're going. Listen to this. Your nervous system has been retraining itself. That's why excitement now feels different. That's why peace feels unfamiliar but right. That's why you don't react the way you used to. This isn't you becoming numb, this is you becoming regulated. And regulated hearts recognize real love faster than wounded ones. Don't scroll. This message is for you because there is a soulmate-level connection approaching or deepening that will not trigger your anxiety, it will calm it. And that calm may confuse you at first, because you were taught that love had to hurt to matter. God says that belief ends here. Listen to this. The love aligned with your destiny will not make you question your worth, your intuition, or your boundaries. It will meet you where you stand, not where you bled. Don't scroll. You've also been noticing that signs from the universe have become more subtle but more personal. Angel numbers still appear, but they no longer feel like cries for reassurance, they feel like nods of confirmation. 1111 feels like alignment already in motion. 222 feels like balance settling into place. 333 feels like emotional release without collapse. 444 feels like protection without fear. These signs are not asking you to wait harder, they're asking you to trust deeper. Your heart needs this right now because doubt keeps trying to return even though it no longer belongs. Don't scroll. God also wants you to understand that you are no longer meant to explain yourself to be understood. The people meant to walk with you will recognize your language without translation. They will respect your pauses. They will honor your boundaries. They will not rush your healing or minimize your growth. Listen to this. That's why some connections faded quietly instead of ending loudly, they simply couldn't hear you anymore. Don't scroll. You didn't lose those people. You outgrew the version of yourself that needed them. And growth always feels like loss before it feels like freedom. Your heart needs this right now because you've been feeling guilty for changing. God says change was the assignment. Don't scroll. You were never meant to stay who you were in survival mode. You were meant to evolve into someone who chooses consciously, loves intentionally, and lives grounded. That's what you've been doing, even on days it felt like nothing was happening. Listen to this. Heaven measures progress differently than humans do. While you were counting days, God was counting healing moments. While you were waiting for movement, God was strengthening your discernment. And now, because of that, what's coming won't overwhelm you, it will integrate into your life smoothly. Don't scroll. There is also a message here about purpose. You've been sensing that your experiences weren't just for you. That your empathy feels heavier sometimes because it's meant to be used. That your story carries weight even if you haven't told it yet. Listen to this. God says your sensitivity is not accidental, it's a tool. And soon, you'll find yourself in situations where your calm presence, your emotional intelligence, and your honesty will matter more than you know. Your heart needs this right now because you've been underestimating the value of who you've become. Don't scroll. There may still be moments ahead where fear whispers old warnings, telling you not to trust fully, not to open too much, not to hope again. When that happens, don't fight it. Acknowledge it and choose alignment anyway. Fear is just memory. Faith is awareness. Listen to this. Awareness doesn't shout. It settles. And you've been settling into truth for a while now. Don't scroll. This part exists because God didn't want you rushing toward the next chapter without grounding in this one. Stability is what makes blessings sustainable. That's why things slowed. That's why answers came in pieces. That's why clarity arrived quietly. Your heart needs this right now because rushing would have broken what patience preserved. Don't scroll. There will be a moment, calm, clear, undeniable, where you realize you're no longer waiting. You're living inside the answer. It won't feel dramatic. It will feel obvious. And that's how you'll know it's real. Listen to this. You were not meant to miss this season, this message, or this moment in your life. Everything you endured prepared you to stand here steady, open, and aware. Don't scroll. Stay present. This is not the end of the message, it's the grounding before the final confirmation reveals itself. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if you've reached part 5, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now. This is the part where God asks you to stop bracing for impact and start trusting the ground beneath your feet, because the season you are in is no longer about surviving what hurts, it's about learning how to receive what lasts. Listen to this. You've spent so much of your life being strong, adapting, holding yourself together through uncertainty, disappointment, and unanswered prayers that you forgot what it feels like to relax into alignment. Don't scroll. God says this is the moment where tension slowly leaves your body, not all at once, but enough for you to realize you're safe to exhale. Your heart needs this right now because you've been waiting for something to go wrong instead of allowing something to finally go right. Listen to this. The reason things have felt quiet lately isn't because nothing is happening, it's because chaos has been removed. You're not used to peace yet, and peace can feel empty when your nervous system was trained by unpredictability. Don't scroll. That emptiness isn't loss, it's space. Space for clarity. Space for aligned love. Space for purpose to land without distortion. God says you're learning how to live without constant emotional adrenaline, and that lesson is preparing you for something sustainable, not temporary. Listen to this. You've been shedding identities that once kept you safe but now limit you. The one who over-explains, the one who overgives, the one who stays quiet to keep harmony. Don't scroll. Those versions of you did their job, but they are not meant to lead the next chapter. Your heart needs this right now because stepping into your true self can feel lonely before it feels liberating. Listen to this. God sees the moments where you second-guess your progress, where you wonder if you're becoming too guarded or too selective. He says discernment is not distance, and boundaries are not walls, they are invitations for the right things to come closer. Don't scroll. This is especially true in love. The soulmate connection aligned with you now will not mistake your calm for lack of interest or your independence for emotional unavailability. They will recognize it as maturity. They will meet you in presence, not pursuit. Listen to this. That connection won't require you to chase energy or decode behavior. It will feel mutual, steady, and emotionally safe, and that safety may surprise you because you once believed love had to hurt to matter. God says that lie ends here. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because you're being retrained to trust peace. Listen to this. The universe has been giving you confirmations in quieter ways, repeated thoughts that feel guided, inner nudges that don't create anxiety, angel numbers that appear when you're not even asking questions anymore. 11. 11 feels like reassurance instead of longing. 222 feels like balance settling into your decisions. 444 feels like protection holding you steady on days you feel tired but hopeful. These signs are telling you something important. You are no longer being warned, you are being affirmed. Don't scroll. God wants you to understand that the delay you resented was actually insulation. It protected you from entering blessings with wounds that would have sabotaged them. You weren't being held back. You were being healed forward. Listen to this. That's why certain doors didn't open when you begged, and why certain relationships ended when you still believed in them. They couldn't follow you into the version of you that knows their worth without external validation. Don't scroll. This message is for you because comparison has been whispering lies lately, telling you others are ahead, happier, more successful, more loved. God says stop measuring your journey with someone else's timeline. Their lessons are not yours. Your path is custom-built, and it's unfolding exactly as it needs to for what you're meant to carry. Your heart needs this right now because envy disguises itself as motivation, but alignment requires presence, not pressure. Don't scroll. You are also being prepared to hold joy without guilt. That's something no one talks about, how hard it can be to accept happiness after long seasons of struggle. Listen to this. God says you don't need to apologize for your peace or feel suspicious when things finally feel good. You earn this stability through healing, not suffering. Don't scroll. There is also a calling awakening inside you that goes beyond personal fulfillment. You've been noticing how people open up to you more easily, how your words calm others, how your presence grounds rooms without effort. That's not accidental. God says your emotional intelligence, empathy, and lived experience are tools meant to be shared, not hidden. Your heart needs this right now because you've been questioning your purpose during quiet seasons. Quiet seasons build strong foundations. Don't scroll. Soon, you'll find yourself in situations where your growth becomes visible, not because you announce it, but because it shows in how you move, choose, and love. You won't feel the need to convince anyone of your worth. Your energy will speak for you. Listen to this. That's alignment. Don't scroll. There may still be moments where old fear resurfaces, telling you not to trust fully, not to open completely, not to expect consistency. When that happens, pause. Fear is remembering the past. Faith is recognizing the present. God says you're no longer living in yesterday's lessons. You're applying them. Your heart needs this right now because applying wisdom looks quieter than learning it. Don't scroll. This part exists because God didn't want you to mistake calm for stagnation. Calm is momentum without friction. Calm is progress without pain. Calm is what allows blessings to stay. Listen to this. You're not being rushed because you don't need to be. What's meant for you is adjusting itself to fit your healed self, not your wounded one. Don't scroll. There will be a moment ahead where you realize you're no longer asking for signs, you're living inside confirmation. It will feel steady, not explosive. Obvious, not confusing. And when that happens, you'll understand why everything unfolded slowly. Listen to this. You were never meant to miss this season, this growth, or this alignment. You were meant to arrive here grounded, aware, and ready. Don't scroll. Stay present. What comes next will not demand more strength from you, it will reward the strength you already built. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if you made it all the way to the final part, this message is absolutely for you, and your heart needs this right now. This is not by accident, this is not just content, this is alignment, this is the moment where everything you've been feeling finally lands gently instead of weighing you down. Listen to this. God says the reason you stayed until the end is because your spirit was waiting for reassurance, not hype, not noise, but truth that settles your nervous system instead of triggering it. You've been through seasons where you had to be strong without support, hopeful without proof, and patient without clarity, and that kind of endurance changes a person. Don't scroll. God sees how you held on even when you were tired of holding on, how you didn't harden your heart even when it would have been easier to shut down, how you kept choosing growth over bitterness even when no one clapped for you. Your heart needs this right now because this ending is not about struggle anymore, it's about arrival. Listen to this. Arrival doesn't always look like fireworks or dramatic breakthroughs. Sometimes arrival looks like peace replacing anxiety, clarity replacing confusion, and trust replacing control. And that's exactly where you are now, even if part of you is still adjusting to it. Don't scroll. You've been asking God quietly, when will it make sense, and God says, it already is, you're just getting used to living without constant fear. Listen to this. The love you're being aligned with, whether romantic, soulful, or purpose-driven, will not require you to abandon yourself to keep it. It will not test your worth. It will not trigger your old wounds just to prove intensity. It will feel mutual, steady, and emotionally safe, and that safety will feel unfamiliar at first, but it will feel right. Don't scroll. This message is for you because you've mistaken peace for boredom before, and God wants you to know that peace is where lasting love grows roots. Listen to this. You are no longer being prepared for chaos. You are being prepared for consistency. You are no longer being taught how to survive, you are being taught how to receive. Your heart needs this right now because receiving can feel harder than surviving when you're used to guarding yourself. Don't scroll. God says you don't have to brace anymore. You don't have to assume something will go wrong. You don't have to keep one foot out the door just in case. This next chapter does not require armor, it requires presence. Listen to this. Presence is your new power. Presence is what allows blessings to stay instead of slipping through fear. Don't scroll. The signs you once begged for have turned into confirmations you quietly notice. Angel numbers don't shock you anymore, they reassure you. 1111 feels like alignment already in motion. 222 feels like balance you can trust. 444 feels like protection you don't need to question. These signs aren't asking you to wait. They're reminding you that you're supported as you move forward. Your heart needs this right now because you've spent too much time wondering if you were alone in this. You weren't. You never were. Don't scroll. God also wants you to hear this clearly before you leave this message. You didn't miss your chance, you didn't fall behind, and you didn't mess up your destiny. Everything that didn't work out protected you from repeating cycles you've already outgrown. Everything that ended made room for something aligned with who you are now, not who you were when you were hurting. Listen to this. You didn't lose time, you gained wisdom. You didn't lose love, you learned discernment. And discernment is what makes real love possible. Don't scroll. There is a reason your intuition is louder now, why your boundaries feel firmer, why you don't feel pulled toward chaos anymore. That's not you becoming distant, that's you becoming grounded. Your heart needs this right now because grounded people don't chase, they attract. Don't scroll. Soon, you will notice that things start meeting you where you are instead of demanding you stretch beyond yourself. Conversations will feel easier. Opportunities will feel aligned. Love will feel calm instead of confusing. And when that happens, you'll realize why everything had to slow down before it could speed up in the right direction. Listen to this. God never withholds blessings. He times them so they don't break you. Don't scroll. This ending is also an invitation. An invitation to stop living in anticipation and start living in alignment. An invitation to trust what feels steady instead of what feels dramatic. An invitation to believe that good things can come without pain attached. Your heart needs this right now because you've associated growth with struggle for too long. Don't scroll. Growth can be gentle. Love can be safe. Purpose can feel natural. Listen to this. You are stepping into a season where you don't have to prove your worth, it's already recognized. You don't have to explain your boundaries, they're respected. You don't have to chase connection, it meets you halfway. And that balance is not boring, it's divine. Don't scroll. God says if you remember anything from this message, remember this. You were never meant to miss this moment because encouragement was required before manifestation. Awareness comes before alignment. And alignment is already happening. Listen to this. The reason you watched until the end is because your soul already knew this truth, your mind just needed to hear it. Stay present after this. Stay open. Watch how things unfold without force. This isn't the end of the story, it's the moment you stop questioning and start recognizing. And when you look back at this day, you'll understand why this message found you exactly when it did.